Hello and welcome to At Your Service. I'm Tim Banks, and today we're celebrating Black History Month, and I've got some great guests as always. So, we're celebrating Black History Month with a taste of Caribbean with a sprinkle of jerk. Oh man, I can't wait to hear our guest and what they're going to tell us about Caribbean cuisine and all it has to offer. Today I'm being joined by Althea and Omar Hanson. These guys are food truck owners right here in Howard County. We love what they do. I've seen them on campus before. I've tasted their food, which is amazing in itself. So if you see them out on town, you got to stop them and you got to say hello. Welcome, Althea and Omar.
Thank you, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you all today?
We're fine. We're happy to be here. Thanks for having us on your
Good.
show.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. So let's jump right in. Tell me, where does your love and passion for Caribbean cuisine come from?
Well, I'll answer that one. So we were both born in Jamaica. The love for the food industry started with me and my grandmother. I've lived with my grandmother since I was 2 years old. And she was pretty much like the matriarch of the community. So she loved to cook, and I was always in the kitchen with her. For years, I did real estate and just came back to what I love, which is just feeding people and giving people nice, fresh ingredients and healthy foods to eat.
Right. There's a passion we share for feeding people. I love to see that first bite smile. When someone takes that first bite and they light up, you know you've done a good job and you've hit a spot that is making them very happy. So the joy of sharing food is one of my passions as well. So let's talk about role. Would you say that the food plays a big role in, how does the food play a big role in the Afro-Caribbean food? What's unique about it?
For African and Caribbean, especially for Caribbean people, our food, we being from colonial times, ex-colonial slaves and all of that, our food consisted of what you'd call scraps. That's what we were given as food. So you can't eat scraps unless you have a way to make it flavorful. So our ancestors were able to turn whatever they got into flavorful food so you'd enjoy it. So that's how, for African and Caribbean people, Afro-Caribbean people, our food is a major, we just use whatever we have and make the best of it.
That's right. I definitely can attest to that. We've had to do the same thing with our cuisine. Very similar.
Yeah.
So to contrast American and Caribbean cuisine, what would you say is the biggest influence that makes Caribbean food stand out?
I think it's the flavor.
Fresh
flavor.
and fresh herbs and spices.
Fresh herbs and spices. If it's something, I love that. If it's something you could say that is 2 or 3 very unique ingredients that you can't live without in Caribbean cuisine, what would that be?
Oh,
Scallion, thyme,
That's one.
and pepper.
And pepper. Okay. So pepper.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the range of pepper.
Yeah.
What peppers are we talking about here? So we want the guests to know when they're out enjoying Caribbean cuisine or they're thinking about creating some dishes at home, what's a must-have pepper that they need?
Scotch bonnet.
Scotch bonnet, right? Scotch bonnet. That's the anchor, right? To Caribbean cuisine. You got to have a little Scotch bonnet to wake everything up and start to get those senses tingling.
Scotch bonnet has a lot of variants. There are variants that are just flavor with no heat, and there are variants that are has a lot of heat as well as flavor. But the flavor is always consistent with Scotch bonnet. So that's a must-have for Caribbean cuisine. Scotch bonnet peppers.
That's good to know that there's a range of Scotch bonnet in heat, right? It can be very mild or it could be very intensely spicy, but the flavor must be there. It's the Scotch bonnet flavor that you want to have in your food to make it truly a Caribbean inspired dish. So that's awesome. I love it. And I didn't know there was a big range, but I'm going to investigate more and start using more Scotch bonnet in my home cooking as well. So let's talk about your food truck. I'm excited about that. What inspired you guys to open a food truck business here in Howard County?
So we started originally with a catering company. We started cooking food for everybody out of our home and inviting everyone to purchase meals on weekends. It got so popular that we were being asked over and over, when are you guys cooking again? When we decided to take this further, we decided to get a catering company instead of just having a restaurant, because we still wanted to keep our brand going and to get more customers and things like that. Originally, our plan was to start up our storefront, but then the pandemic hit, and Amar thought it would be a better idea to get a food truck. So he pretty much kind of designed the food truck. We got it built from scratch, and we both quit our jobs. It's been now almost 2 years.
Wow. So a custom food truck. Okay. So next question is, because I have students that want food trucks all the time, right? And they're always thinking about, oh, I can get a food truck, or should I start a restaurant? What is the really contrasting difference between operating and owning a food truck versus a brick and mortar restaurant? The pros and cons maybe of each. What's really awesome about a food truck versus brick and mortar?
All right. The pros of having a food truck is that you don't wait for your guests to come to you. You're able to go to your guests. And people like that. Sometimes, especially during the pandemic when we started, people were happy for us to be coming into their communities, coming into their job and all of that, because restaurants weren't open. So it was great to be able to bring the food to the people instead of waiting for the people to come to the food. For me, the cons is that people are, I'd say, mentally prepared to pay a better price if they go into a brick and mortar. Because I've had experiences where I'm sitting in the truck and I hear people come up and say, oh, the price, I think food truck prices should be $10 or $12. And I'm like, really? There's not much different cost in us operating a food truck as opposed to operating a restaurant, a brick and mortar, stable position, because we still have overheads. We still purchase food from the same places that the restaurants purchase. So our cost is probably apart from having to pay rent, we have every other cost. So our prices have to be pretty much the same as a restaurant. And I guarantee you, food truck food is fresher than a restaurant because we don't have a lot of storage. So we have to make stuff
You got to
day.
buy it and cook it, right? You got to send it out. So that's a good way to express it. That the cost involved are also sometimes equal and can be greater than the day-to-day cost of a freestanding restaurant, because you still have licenses, permits, you've got fuel charges that are fluctuating constantly. Yeah, you've got a lot of those things that are challenges.
Yeah, a lot more licenses. A lot more licenses that you have to get, especially here in Maryland, because you have to have a license in each county if you want to operate in the entire state, as well as you have a constant
county by county.
Gasoline price affects us for both the transportation and for operating the generator. So it's still a lot of fluctuating costs that people don't think. They just think it's a food truck. The price should be cheaper.
Right. And
well, another pro is that we get to go out everywhere. I mean, we've been to almost more than 3/4 of Maryland. We get to explore and see other places that we never even knew existed. Not only that, but we get to meet so many different people from so many different places. And it just brings in, when we are at the point to open that storefront, we are going to have a customer base from here to Carroll County to Ocean City, to DC, Virginia, because we go to so many different places and meet so many different people. And I think that's one of the most important and one of the favorite things for me is being able to have people come up to us and say, well, I don't do milk. I can't have this. I can't have this. And we're right there to say, okay, well, what do you like? Do you like chicken? Do you like fish? Do you let me whip you something up? And we're able to create that special dish for that person with their allergies without, having to go through all of the shenanigans, because a lot of stuff in the restaurants are pre-made and things like that. But I think the most important part for me is the fact that I meet so many people and go to so many places. I'm discovering Maryland, and I've lived here for a very long time.
Likewise, I grew up in Maryland, but there are parts of Maryland that I still find fascinating and interesting and have never seen before. For such a small state, it has a lot to explore. So exploring the state, meeting new people, letting them know that you can accommodate their dietary restrictions is awesome. That's a selling point right there, just that you guys are flexible enough to still be in the moment and create fresh, healthy, delicious food for someone that has a restriction. So that's amazing. I'm impressed and in awe of your ability to be so very flexible in the moment. I've worked in restaurants and it's not that easy. Someone comes in and says they're vegetarian. The first thing you do is you look at the salad. You're like, I'm gonna give them a salad. Nope, but they might not want that. There's other options out there. So that's great. So tell me about jerk. Seasoning, sauce, preparation, process, the definition of jerk. What does that mean?
All right. So jerk is a traditional way of cooking food in Jamaica. And it dates back to our slavery days, when originally jerk was cooked on the ground. So you'd put the food in, you dig a hole, line it with banana leaves and stuff, put the meat in it, and then you'd cover it up and make a fire on it, and it would cook like that. And that was originally how jerk was done back in the day. Because if you were cooking like a whole pig, you didn't want your slave masters to see what you were cooking. So they just thought it was just a big bonfire being made. So that was how it is. But it has evolved to the point where you're now able to, because of the availability of seasonings, because originally you had to make your jerk seasoning yourself. But there are jerk seasoning that are on the market now that allows people to be able to do jerk even in their oven. A lot of Jamaican will tell you, oh, that's not real jerk if it's not done on a grill or in a pit. But the flavors are still there. It just requires a little bit more, or let's say a little less attention to details, because it's in the oven. You could preset your oven and be done with it. But for us, we keep it real. I do my jerk on a grill still. Wherever my truck is, if you're inviting my food truck and we are not able to put my grill outside and do my jerk chicken, we will come, because we do have a grill inside the trailer. We have a grill inside the trailer, but I prefer to do mine on the grill outside. It helps people to see that this has been done the original way, and that's how we enjoy doing it. Because we eat our own food. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the way I want it done. So I'm going to eat it.
That's right. And the aroma, the smell coming off that grill. That'll hook them in right there. Just smelling it cooking and being around it and having that experiential pre-appetizer, right? That if it smells good, it's going to taste good. So you want to enjoy it that way. So definitely, I am a fan of all things jerk. I think jerk chicken is probably one of my absolute favorites, but I'm a fan of jerk lamb, jerk pork, you name it. I am definitely a fan of it. Can't get enough. Okay, so you guys tell me a little bit about the Roy Perth Scholarship and how people can support that.
So my dad has worked at HCC for 28 years.
Awesome.
In the previous years, there were a lot of events that HEC put on where the employees got to showcase their talents, like singing and dancing and things like that. So my dad was always involved in those. He loves to sing, he loved to dance. And when he passed away, we thought, like, what would be the best way to honor his memory? And we thought about, why not create a scholarship at somewhere that he's worked for so long and loved, and offer it to students that are in the arts, which is something that he also loved. Last year was our first foundation event at HCC. We bought out the food truck, and everything that was sold on the truck was donated to the scholarship. We had a few other vendors that participated as well and donated a portion of their proceeds to the scholarship fund. And then we also had a lot of people in the community and employees and former employees of the college that went and donated. If you are interested in donating, we would really appreciate it. You can log on to the HEC website and scholarship /WordParrot Foundation, and you are able to donate directly online, or you're free to also send them a check. Our next event for the scholarship is coming up on March 22nd. We're still narrowing down the details, but it's going to be from 11 to 4, and it's going to be right in the middle between the cafeteria and Duncan Hall. So there's going to be information coming out from the college and information on our social media page if you guys want to check it out and come by or donate.
Sure. So definitely March 22nd, put that on your calendar. Althea's will be out. Support, come make a donation. It's for a great cause, a great scholarship fund. What better way to support students than to contribute to helping grow scholarship for them in their process? And you guys are huge-hearted people to put that forth and honor your father in such an amazing way that will be a living legacy for him as it continues to grow and develop. The scholarship will gain more and more attention this way. So kudos to you guys for starting a scholarship for students from a family of love, and that's how it radiates out. So that's awesome to see.
I want to make sure that I interject here, Tim, and say the scholarship was an idea for me and my other 6 siblings. So I don't want to leave them out or not make them see that it seems as if they're not a part of it. It was developed by my mom, which is she's still a Howard County college employee, and my other 6 siblings, and me making 7. So I just want to make sure that gets out there.
Very nice. Nice big family. We love it. Awesome. So yes, honor to the entire family for their contributions in putting this scholarship forward. Very nice. Okay, so you briefly mentioned social media. How can we find you guys? Where are you? How do we get in touch? Where do we know to follow you for events and food truck activities?
So you can pretty much follow us on any social media platform: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. It's all Althea's Almost Famous. We also have our website. We have altheaskitchen.com, and we also have ilovethisjerk.com. So you can go on there, do our location tracker if you wanted to find out where we are. You can follow us on social media for just different things where we're going to be, demos for how to use our jerk sauce. You can also purchase our jerk sauce on any social media platform and on our website.
You guys heard that. Jerk sauce for sale. Find the food truck, go out and buy your jerk sauce, and you can do it in the oven at home or on the grill. Grilling season is right around the corner, right? So you can get that and have that home experience for yourself. Nice, nice, nice. And what I'll do is we'll connect, and I'll get all your social media stuff, and we'll share it throughout the college as well to make sure you guys are getting good traction. So tell me about the name of Althea's Almost Famous. Where'd you come up with that?
So as I mentioned before, I was in real estate. I was given the opportunity to be in a program at my company, and I had to drive to King of Prussia once a month for 12 months in order to be in the program. So at that time, I had developed the jerk sauce, and I bought like little sample cups to our meeting one month and gave one to each person in the corporate office and all the other, I want to say all the other colleagues that were in this class. They all went home and tried it. And the next month I went back. They were looking at me weird and saying, well, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing here? Am I fired or something? And I don't know. And they pretty much all said the same thing. With this jerk sauce, it's going to make you famous. And I worked with a branding company that was currently working with my real estate company at that point, and pretty much everyone else gave them the same feedback, saying this sauce is going to make her famous. So the branding company came up with Althea's Almost Famous.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I will say it is famous, especially here in Howard County. So Althea's Almost Famous is going to go worldwide, right? Let's name it and claim it now and get those orders in so we can get Althea's Almost Famous worldwide. That's what we like to see. Growth in business, growth in community. You guys are an intricate part of everything going on here in Howard County and Maryland, which is awesome to see. So is there anything else that you want to leave us with today before we wrap up? We're getting close to time, but any great thoughts, best practices, and then I've got a treat for you at the end. So I'll let you guys take over and tell me what you think it needs to have, that we need to do to make a food truck happen.
All right. For if someone wants to get into the food truck business, you gotta first realize that it's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work because we both quit our 9 to 5. And now we're working 24/7. So you gotta understand, it's a lot of work. You have to have a passion for feeding people, because there are days when it's gonna seem like it doesn't make any sense for you, because it's not about the money. If you're going into a food truck business for the money, it's best you keep your regular job, because it's not about the money. There are days when you're gonna feel like, oh, is this worth it? Did I make the right choice? You have to have a passion for feeding people. You have to love cooking. If you don't love cooking, there's no point. You have to have that passion, and you just have to endure, because it's a business that comes with a lot of ups and downs. And trust me, the downs are really down.
Well, I'm going to stick to the positive part. We enjoy feeding people. We enjoy going out and helping all the people in our community. We work with the homeless shelter down on Hickory Ridge. We work with our community cares. We work with cancer patients in our area that are go through chemo and need food when they come home. So there are so many things that we do that we love. So back to the passion part, you have to have a passion for food and helping people. And that's what we're all about. We're very thankful for you today to help showcase our business. We're also thankful to HCC for just being open to all the crazy ideas that we come up with, and also allowing us to come on the campus and feed all the students. We're also very grateful for, Calvin and a lot of other, I want to say politicians, but in the Howard County area that helps us and help all small businesses, M&T for helping a lot of us. So there's a lot of people that is into this food business, but it is a lot of work, but there's so many positive parts about it as well.
So number one, you got to lead with your passion. There's going to be hard work. There's going to be rainy days, right? Rainy days are not fun, I'm sure, for a food truck. So you got to take it all in stride. You got to know how to manage your time, your energy. You got to conserve. You got to know when to do it and when not to do it. So this is great information for especially aspiring students that are interested in going into the food and beverage industry and looking at a mobile food business. They're extremely popular. Often people see the glitz and the glam of it and they think this is awesome, I don't want to do it, but they need to see the other side of it as well and know the level of commitment that's required to support the business. And it has to be an all-in, like you said, 24/7 attitude to make it work. And that's the fact. So, and it's great to have community support as well. That's awesome. So this is my favorite part of the show. It's where we do our rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask you guys a few questions, and answer with the first thing that comes on your mind. And either one of you can answer, or you both can answer. So first thing,
Okay.
favorite ice cream.
Eggnog.
I'm vanilla.
Eggnog and vanilla. Great. If I gave you guys $10,000 today, what would you do with it?
Set it up for a storefront.
That's probably the first
Yeah,
thing.
our storefront.
Invest, right? So you would invest it in the business
Yeah.
to grow. Awesome. So a
Yes.
storefront. That's something. Do I need to? Is that a little nugget you just dropped that I need to look out for? That there's going to be a possible
Yes.
storefront coming in the near future?
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
Nice.
But-
Nice.
The main challenge is funding. So
Funding.
it's a lot of funding to get there.
Okay. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would that be?
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain would be mine.
Anthony Bourdain. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. You know, I have an autographed cookbook from Anthony Bourdain. Wow.
Oh,
That you said,
man.
that's one of my favorites. That's one of my all-time favorites,
Yeah.
guys. Very nice.
I
Well,
would
this
have
has been a wonderful
I would have
time.
dinner with Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
I would have dinner
Another
with Bob
hit,
Marley.
another
Yeah.
major. Yes. Yes. Bob
Yeah, 'cause
Marley. For
he's
sure.
he's a like huge inspiration. Just his philosophies and the way the
Mhm.
things he believes in, they're similar to how I think. So
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
very good. You guys have been a refreshing breath of fresh air. I'm excited for you. I'm excited about what you guys are doing, the direction you're moving in. And of course, I'm a fan of the food. So I know March 22nd, you will see me on campus in line, ready to have some lunch and enjoy Althea's Almost Famous, which in my mind, I'm just going to call it famous because it is famous and it's famous right here in our community. So it's definitely on the mark. This has been a great time spent with you all. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys around. Y'all take care and have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting us, Tim.
Thanks for
Have a
having
good
us,
one.
That brings our show to an end. Thank you as always for joining us here at Your Service, and check us out on Podbean or Howard Community College YouTube. Thank you so much. Have a great day.